Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to our lecturer Dr. Masura and to our fellow friends. We are from Group 1. We'll present about the investment and the saving. So my name is Nurul Imma binti Ahmad Shidi and my matric number is 264392. Now I will explain about the introduction for saving and investment. So what is investment? Investment is asset that we create in order to make our money to grow. So there are two ways to make an investment. So firstly, we can invest our money, which is our asset. If we invest in the sellable asset, we can gain our income by way of the profit from the investment. And next, the second one is that investment can increase our income if our investment is made in a return generating plan. Then we will gain that income by returning the accumulation of gain. Next, we move to the saving. So what is saving? Saving is the portion of the income that we not spend in the current expenditure. Saving also is the benefit of saving up for the future purchases, delaying and impulse purchases, and also it helps to decide whether it is something you need or it is just a waste money that we will regret after we buying or doing something else. So the saving also mostly keep in the form of cash or equivalent such as bank deposit. Next, we move to the difference between the saving and the investment. Okay, first difference is the rate of return for saving is lower than the investment. The second one is the risk in saving is usually known on FDIC insured account, but for investment there will always have a possibility for losing some or all of our investment capital if the company that we invest has been losing. And the third one is the saving is not expensive because we can put the money in our bank for how much we want to put, but for investment it could be expensive. It because it is depending on how much we buy and trade and realize the taxable gain.
Next, we're going to discuss about the differences between the investment and saving. For the first characteristic are the risk. The risk for the saving are relatively low, and for the investment, the possibility of losing some or all of your investment in the capital. Why in the saving the risks are low? Because your money are safer in the bank account if you find in a reputable bank. Compared to the investment, the risk of losing money in safe are quite minimal. But for the investment risk varies depending on the investment channel. It depends on how or on what company you invest to. If you make a good study for your investment, it might be good for your own and for your money too. Next, for the second characteristic is the return. The return for the saving are relatively low because most of the bank they have their own interest for the saving, but not as much as the condition for the investment. They maybe for every banks differ about 1 or 2% with some condition for saving. So that's why the return for the saving are low. But for the investment, the return are the potential to get the high also, and lower from your investment also you also might get, because it depends on the type of investment that you made and type of organization that you invest. But in the long term, the investing may produce significantly better returns than saving. For the third characteristic is the period. The period for the saving are usually short, from 1 to 3 years. But for the investment, the period are long, that usually takes about 5 years above. For the last characteristic are the accessibility. The accessibility for the saving is when you can complete control your money. But for the investment, it based on the type of investment that you made. This is because the money saving can come in handful when you are in pinch. You have a complete control, and you also can take a portion of your saving or entire amount as you want. But for the investing, the ability to access your money is determined by the type of investment of you made, because you can redeem your asset in open-ended equity mutual fund at any time. Next, we're going to move to the current issue for investment. According to the Bank Negara Malaysia, the economy, which increased 0.7% in first quarter of 2020, was essentially a halt in April and expected to face a severe recession in the second quarter. However, the economic growth in forecast is to increase in the second half of the year, with a further acceleration forecast in 2021. Joe Swicki, Chief Investment Officer at TA Investment Management, says fund managers are focusing on two crucial terms, which is recovery and the new normal. He also mentioned that tourism-related stocks, which were directly and severely harmed by COVID-19, have a lot of room recovery in a recovery space. These stocks are included with the Malaysia Airport Holding Berhad, Air Asia Group Berhad, and Genting Malaysia Berhad, whose operation were effectively halted for the nearly a calendar quarter. According to Department of Statistics Malaysia, Malaysia international investment position in quarter 1 of 2021 are up from RM67.5 billion to RM106.4 billion in the previous quarter, with the total financial asset rising to RM2020.1 billion and the total liability falling to RM1913.7 billion. As you can see in the next figure, even before the outbreak of COVID-19, the level of investment in Malaysia during the year was still at negative level. After almost 1 year of facing this pandemic, the investor can set up an effective strategy so that there is an increase in Malaysia international investment position up to 2.2%.
Time next for the business news with Kate Moody. Good evening, Kate.
Hi, Delano.
You're starting out with an important element of the economic crisis brought on by the coronavirus pandemic, and that's the rise in poverty.
Yeah, extreme poverty as well, which is set to rise for the first time in over 2 decades this year as the coronavirus pandemic pushes millions of families into economic difficulty. A new report from the World Bank confirms previous estimates that around 100 million people will be pushed into poverty across the globe this year, and 150 million people in extreme poverty by the end of 2021. That's about 9% of the world's population. More than 8 in 10 of the newly poor live in middle-income countries. Now, extreme poverty is defined as surviving on less than $1.90 per day, but there are other measures too. Nearly a quarter of the world's population lives on less than $3.20, and more than 40% on $5.50. Well, we can speak now to the lead author of that report. Carolina Sanchez-Paramo is the World Bank's Global Director on Poverty. Thanks for joining us from Washington. Who are these newly poor who are being affected by the pandemic?
Hi, everyone, I'm Go Jessie and my master's number is 261603. So now I'm going to present the issue of the saving. I think all of you are familiar with the terms pandemic. The outbreak of the pandemic brings a lot of impact to the people, especially the health of the people, and it can spread the disease across the country. In the end, the disease will become the global public health emergency in the world. After SARS, now we are forced to face the public health issue again after 17 years. The name of the public health emergency now is called COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic has spread to many countries and regions around the world in nearly a year and is affecting almost 7 billion people. As I mentioned just now, the outbreak of the pandemic brings many impact on the people, especially it can affect their health. So many countries has implemented the lockdown to prevent the spread of the COVID-19. And of course, this action effectively protect the health of the people because everyone is stay at home. But it is cause a negative effect also. So one of the negative effect is a lot of people are facing the financial problem during the lockdown. So there is a report from the World Bank that stated the COVID-19 caused more and more people to plug into the extreme poverty. That the amount of the poverty was estimated from 88 million to 150 million by 2021. Our country also implement the lockdown since a lot of COVID-19 cases found in our country. And the name of the lockdown is called Movement Control Order MCO. I will not explain what MCO is because I'm very sure that all of you is very familiar with the term of MCO. And the implement of the MCO in our country makes a lot of people facing fire or wage cut, because their company may have to suspend the operations. When there is no income or the reduction of the income, the people will start to use their saving. So we can see the picture in our left hand side. This is the survey from the Department of Statistics Malaysia in last year. This survey is called Effect of COVID-19 on Economy and Individual. There are 1,600,000 people involved in this special survey, and most of the people say that they are not financially prepared if the MCO were to be extended. And I will briefly this picture. In this picture, at the financial impact, there are 52.6% of respondents say that they are most affected when it comes to financial saving. At the same time, there are 6.2% of respondents say that if the MCO is extended, their financial saving will be least affected. At the saving readiness duration, the survey found that there are 71.4% of self-employed saving can be last 1 month, and 82.7% of private employees say that they have enough saving for 2 months, and 77.2% is for the employer. The length of an employee's tenure will also affect their saving. But this didn't show at the picture, so I will make some briefly. Among them, there are 69.7% of the respondents who have worked for less than a year say that their saving may only last for less than 1 month. So next, just now I say that some people being fired means that there are unemployed. So based on Azim's Awam, the senior fellows of M10 at the webinar, say that over 60% of employees in Malaysia cannot afford more than a week's living expenses with their saving. and they also cannot raise 1,000 ringgit. So in the summary, if there is a long-term NCO coupled with the facts that Malaysia do not have enough emergency saving, then the citizen will fall into financial difficulties. Therefore, we need to find a solution to deal the saving issue. That's all from me.
Okay, next we move to the part of solution saving. Okay, on saving, people should make an early saving. This is because when we make an early saving, we have a chances to get a bigger return when using the compounded interest, and this also will give us a larger balance to earn the future on, leading to even bigger returns. And we are also essentially earning the interest on interest, which is we can earn the interest on our original and following investment contribution, plus on all the interest that has built up over the time. Okay, so next, to solve the issue about the saving, there are some calculation that we can use to prove about the compounded interest of saving. Okay, we have some example. RHB Bank has 2.85% of annual rate of return compounded yearly, and we assume that it will have a same contribution for 20 years old. So assume that Ahmad can deposit his money about 10,000 per year for 20 years. Okay, now we can use calculation using the compounded interest formula, which is F equal to A. Find F given A and I percent and N. Or we can also use a formula A 1 plus I N negative 1 over I. Okay, now after we use the formula of saving, which is compounded interest formula, we can have the future value, which is RM264641. So at the end of the year 20, his saving earn of return can be around RM264641.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Hasrina binti Halim and my matrix number is 264129. Okay, I would like to continue about the solution for investment issues. Based on the issue that stated before, we know that the investment is very crucial to ensure that we are able to meet our life goal and protect our financial future by recessing our investment portfolio, which is kita menilai semula portfolio pelaburan. Due to COVID-19, we are faced the narrowness of money, so the best way is investor has been make wise choice to invest their money to the unit trust. The investment in unit trust can be deferred until the financial returns recover. New investment can be restarted on financial position are more stable. This is one the advantage for investment in the pandemic era. So in Malaysia, there are various unit trusts can be invest in. One of the most popular one can be invest in through the major bank, including RHB Bank. So RHB Bank have a smart account that award us for making investing transaction. They will give us a better return and making it easier to earn more. And investing a minimum of 1,000 eligible RHB financial product In the invest category, we can earn another 1% interest that will qualify for a total of 3.85% interest rate per annum.
And to change your lifestyle. Investing can provide financial security and protection in an emergency. Investing is how you take charge of your future. It allows you to grow your wealth and also generate an additional income stream. Inflation is the ongoing rise in the cost of living over time and can impact our financial well-being. Investing beats inflation. If you're looking to grow your wealth over a long term, investing is a good option. It also creates a strong foundation for you and your family. Investing helps you overcome any obstacles or challenges that come your way. It ensures that you will always have enough money for the things you need and the things that are important to you. Investing and saving give you freedom to achieve your dreams and goals for the future.
Alright, to more clearly solve the issue of investment, this is an example for calculation saving. We assume that Ahmad make annual investment for 10,000 ringgit in unit trust at the RHB Smart account for 20 years, starting 1 year from now, if the rate of return is constantly at 3.85% per year. From this situation, we can get A equal to 10,000 ringgit, I equal to 3.85%, and we convert to decimal points to be 0.0385. And then the duration N equals to 20 a year, and we want to find the F, which is the future return. So we use the compounded interest formula, which is F equal A times FAIN. But since the table factor do not include 3.85%, so we use the formula to answer the situation, which is A times 1 plus I power of N minus 1 and divide I. From the information given, we calculate, and at the end of year 20, his investment earned of return can be around 293,189 ringgit Malaysia. To conclude all the part of calculation solving issues between saving and investment, we can see there are the different amount between saving and investment. We can see that the amount 10,000 ringgit for deposit each year, and the total year is same, which is 20 a year for both saving and investment. But the difference is the interest rate. The interest rate for saving is 2.85%, while the interest rate for investment 3.85%. This is because there is an additional 1% interest return if you invest a minimum of the 1,000 per year. This is one of the benefit for the investment. So if Ahmad choose saving, he will get 264,641 ringgit. While if Ahmad choose invest, he will get the 293,189 ringgit in the same duration, which is the 20 a year. Therefore, the return of investment amount will get almost 30,000 ringgit more than saving return amount. It shows that the investment is much better to choose compared to saving.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aiman Najmi bin Maisa. My matric number is 261897. Today I want to present about my part is discuss and justify the solution. So, at first, what is the compound interest saving? It's the interest you earn on both your original deposit and on the interest that your money earn. Compound interest allow your saving to grow faster over time. It means the rates which compound interest accurate depend on the frequency of the compounding. Such that the higher the number of compounding period, the greater the compound interest. So interest can be compound on any given frequency from continuous to daily to annually. So as the example, can we take for Lisa spent 10,000 in RHB bank, and the rate of annual of the return of RHB bank is 2.85%. Then Lisa saving in 20 years, and she get future in RM 264,641 ringgit Malaysia. So this saving is one of the way, is with some of our society have already done it, and even many are still unaware that this saving will give them a very little benefit. So next we go for the what is compound interest for investment. So compound interest accelerate the growth of your saving and investment over time. Conversely, it also expand the debit balance you own over time. So compound interest is described as interest on interest, and it will result in the highest rate of the growth than medium interest, which is a measure slowly solely on the principal amount. So, compound interest is calculated not on your initial deposit, but on your accumulate value. This means that you make additional money in interest on the top of your investment contribution. So, to illustration, we can go to next slide. So, for example, Elisa is spent 10,000 ringgit. So, RHB Bank is take annual rate of the return 3.585% for 20 years, and Alisa can get in the future 293,108. So, can we look at this formula, and this formula we use to get a solution the future that Alisa get. So, compound interest accelerate the growth on your investment over time. So this is, another example. If you were to save 1,000 ringgit and earn 5% interest, after 1 year, you will have 1,050 ringgit. So next slide is the comparison between saving and investment. Like example, my friend do is Ahmad. So I take name of Ahmad for example. The comparison between saving and investment. If Ahmad do investment in 20 years, at the end of the year 20, his investment earn of return can be around RM 293,189. If Ahmad do saving in 20 years, at the end of the year 20, his saving earn of the return can be around RM 264,641. So, as we can see that the investment is very more get money and get benefit. So for Ahmad investment, he can, for example, Ahmad can buy one bungalow and two car sport. If Ahmad saving in 20 years, he can buy one bungalow and one car. So that's making investment is much better than saving. So let's invest. So we go to the next slide. Okay, the last but not least, therefore, this a saving and investment efficiency it will help us a little in overcome our financial problem. If it allow you to grow an amount of the money faster, then with a simple interest because you can reverse return on both the money you invest and the return at the end of is a compounding period. Second point, regardless of how you want to invest, the most important move is open at least one account and begin at in regularly to it and feel the benefit of the compound interest. You will be better off if you start soon rather than late. Last but not least, determine what you want for yourself and your family, and then make a solid plan to get there. Well, obstacle will invariably pop up along the way. A good plan will be help you deal with them as they arise. So, what are you waiting for? Let investment.
So, as the conclusion, we think we rather to choose the investment compared to saving. This is because we are doing investment. If we are doing investment to the right company, we have a potential to make our money grow faster compared to we making a saving. Next, we also can have some experience with different investment and the leverage tools which will suit our requirement, which is the best. And then interest investment is also, when we invest early, it is also better because of the compounding benefit on the investment that will help our money to grow more. Next, we should do a saving or make some investment at our early age in order to keep our money safe, to minimize the burden of the tax, and to help the money grow, and also to save our money for retirement in the future. And we also have to be ready if the something might happen, such as this pandemic COVID-19 is one of the example that we should be ready for our money. That's all from us. Thank you.